electronic computers.
Alright, so, welcome to another episode of Circuit Breakers. I'm Sirocyl. What we're going to be covering today is a rather interesting old piece of kit. It's a internet appliance specifically designed for receiving email and pretty much nothing else in 2001. It is called the MailStation. This is it. Box for it anyway, and look, I just set this up here. Switch to Elmo. Can you switch to the Elmo?
One moment.
Okay.
Perfect. I just need to adjust one thing with the audio, but now I'm switching to screen.
All right, cool.
Switch.
So,
the box is upside down.
Is it now?
Yeah.
There we go. It was upside down for me too. So, this is the Elmo. This is the MailStation on the Elmo. And what we got here is a weird kind of piece of hardware because these things weren't powerful. And they didn't really have to be because email wasn't complicated in 2001. It connected to its own service, which was later bought by Earthlink. And on the back here, you can see we have a giant hole in the case and basically a description of what the features are on here. So you have an address book with several entries, built-in spell check. It's got a keyboard. The keyboard sucks. And basically it's just absolutely the minimal of what you would need to read email and write email. But it's a bit more interesting than that. Let's just get this open. And, yep. So, in the box, you get the MailStation, which is, it's decent. Monochrome screen, you can tilt forward. A couple of function keys up here, a bunch of buttons on the bottom. It takes 3 AA's, which I've happily included here. And ports on the back, you have power input output, 2 modem jacks, one for a telephone and one for actual connectivity to the phone network. And then over here you have a parallel port. It's bidirectional, ECP capable, but it's meant for printers. And I'll get into that in a bit. Also in the box you have a telephone cord, a bunch of styrofoam, and a power brick. And the power brick given is, I believe, 9 volts. Let's read that. Yep, 9 volt DC. And I'll be using that to power it because batteries are expensive. Got plenty of batteries here, but yeah. So, without further ado, get the machine over here and plug it in here. Okay, I'm actually going to move this. The light's about to change a little. There. And, yep, perfect. So now I can plug in the actual brick.
This little dumb Mona said hi.
Ah, hello.
And there's also a person that said digital hex went, yeah!
Mind the fire hazard a bit. But, okay. So here we have the Cidco MailStation and its power jack. And on first boot, what you get is this neat little screen, and then it asks you to make a user account. Now, I'm going to bullshit through this because time reasons, and because I don't have an actual account. This keyboard sucks real bad. So, let me actually lean up over here.
I will say, now that I see something, I actually want to change the camera angle for your face cam. That I think will work a lot better.
Okay, if you want to change the camera, go for it.
Yep, it's just this guy.
Yep.
So watch out, you guys might get some motion sickness.
That'll work.
Now you look like a giant. And actually, if you don't mind, what might make this better?
You can put it front and center if you want.
This angle, it's more like the Elmo was blocking your entire face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're good.
So.
Perfect.
Dial-up number, I'm just going to put in 201. Actually, what's the Mojave telephone booth number?
Oh, shoot, I've forgotten that over the years.
I'll look
I think
it up.
it's like a 8-6 or 8 something. Used to have it right on the banner for most 2600 stuff.
2600.horse.
Yes.
I should have it. Oh, it's not on the front page. WTF.
Yeah, they've changed it.
Well. Whatever. I'll just put a screwy number in here. So 201 666 69 420. Whatever.
Nice.
Nice. Reply to address info at DEFCON 201. Def CPM. Okay. I think I've spoiled what we're going to be getting into just by that typo alone. DEFCON 201. 201.org. This keyboard sucks. Okay, you know what? I'm going to bullshit through this. X at x.x. Password is... Okay. POP3 server. Poop. SMTP server. Smite. ISP account. Okay. Password is... Primary DNS. What's a good IP address? 127.0.0.1. Sure, why not? Save. Cool. User account has been saved. So now we're in, and what we have here is a brand new Cidco MailStation. I'm actually gonna bring over some light and make this a bit more visible. Contrast. Contrast setting doesn't change anything. It's just blown out here. So I'll use this light. Put my wire around. Mind the face cam. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh. Crank it down a little bit. There. So, as you can see, this machine is just an email system. Does nothing more than receive email, send email, write email, to poop at farts.stupid. Subject balls. LOL. Hi LGR. Yeah, I'm totally stealing his thing there, but whatever. So you can save an email or discard it, draft it, whatever. I'm just gonna throw it out. Now, there's an interesting thing here, extras. Someone commented, depending on the firmware revision, it doesn't even care if you put in anything nearly valid, and you can just put in random BS and it'll be like, oh, are you sure? And it'll just take it. Yeah, so, this is back in the Wild Wild West days when nothing verified its inputs. So, but extras, okay. So, back when this was actually serviceable, Cidco and later Earthlink, my face cam's up over here. There we go. Cidco and later Earthlink would provide these programs over the wire. They would be received in your email box, and they had a special header included in them that would tell the mail station, Yes, I'm a program. Run it. These would copy to a special partition in the Flash designed just for that, and they would show up in the extras file and run from there. It's pretty cool, though it was terribly underused because all they really did was just push 1 bit per pixel images with a loader that just put it on the screen, like a screensaver almost, but with like the TV guide or the weather or the lottery numbers or your horoscopes, those kind of magazine sort of things that you would subscribe to back in the day. But it comes with, out of the box, a calculator, a calendar, a way to view your sent mail, and a settings screen. And under settings, you have all the usuals, You can't change your email address, and a lot of the account settings are quote-unquote permanent. Now, you can reset it, and I have before showing you this because this thing's obviously been used. It came with a few emails on it, and I didn't want to have any personal information leaked to the stream, so I went through the trouble of resetting it, and you're not supposed to be able to. You're supposed to have to call technical support at Cidco, and they'll do it for you over the wire. But yeah, there's a few backdoors in this that we're going to be getting into. So as you can see, we have v303 of the firmware installed, and I think it's a later revision just because this was connected to the internet and it was used for its service. And we have an Incent reward in the corner if you want to check it out. Get.incent.com. That gives us it gives you a bit of whatever. I think it's like a cryptocurrency thing. SidePocket could explain that better. He probably has on the streams many times before, but it's not my real thing, so...
Problem?
No. I'm talking about the Incent reward.
Oh.
Popped up on the screen.
Yeah, you can hear my voice real quick. It's a weird, basically, what you don't have to turn around.
Okay.
It's basically a weird way you can earn free cryptocurrency money. This is not a scam. We don't benefit from this. You go to getincent.com, get the app. You can find it on the App Store and stuff. You type in that code or scan that QR code, you get a little bit of the cryptocurrency Incent. You can convert that into any other cryptocurrency and either have that cryptocurrency or pull that one out for real cash. So you can put Incent to Bitcoin, real cash. And it's just a cool way of rewarding people watching our stream.
Okay. That's neat. I would do it more if I was, more cryptographically inclined, but whatever. So, back to the...
I also have the phone booth number.
Oh, you have the phone booth
Yeah.
number. It's a bit late for... Actually, no it isn't. I can just change that right here. Cool. What's the number? 760 733 99. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I used to have it in my phone.
And yeah.
I'll be back at modding.
It supports some formatting commands as well in the modem string, as well as spaces, and I think it also can do pause and wait with P and W. W does not. So it can just do a dial pause, which is good for, setting up a calling card or something if you need to, but it's 2021. When's the last time you've used a calling card? Alright, so save these settings. Cool. So what we're going to be actually working with is the extras menu. Now you see there's 4 entries here: a calculator, calendar, sent mail, settings. Whenever Cidco would send a new feature, it would show up on the extras menu and you could scroll over to it. It would pop up here, and if you had more, it could page over. And you can use the function keys to select something. Calendar works. So that's where they would actually send you programs to run on it, and that's what I'm actually going to be hacking into. So, first things first, let's power this off. There's, mind the sirens in the background. There's a secret function that you can enter the diagnostic menu with. That is function Shift T for test and power it on. Doing that brings you to the diagnostic main menu. In this menu you have a few features, like you can run an LCD test and cycle through some various test patterns. Nothing too special. It's a monochrome screen, so you don't get, 4-color even grayscales. Fast test, it'll cycle through a bunch of tests. That takes about 5.5 minutes. I'm going to leave that out for brevity. FA tester lets you select certain tests to run. So for instance, if I do a ROM test or a RAM test, I'll do a RAM test. 5, it'll test it, and then pass. Okay. If I go back here, and I do a run-in test, will also do a test cycle. It's much longer. It's about an hour long. I'm seeing in the video that it's a bit washed out here, so I'm going to actually see if I can turn this down a little bit. Maybe move that over. A bit more of an indirect light here. Okay, that seems to be a bit better. Alright, cool.
As soon as I eat this, I'll be back in the cockpit, and if you need drinks, let me know.
Okay. I will need drinks, so yes.
Okay.
So back to here. You can also run QA evaluation. That gives you a couple of options. EMI for testing FCC or compliance requirements. DTMF to test the dial functions. Modem test to actually turn on and off the relay and do like dial functions, DSP testing and things like that. DTMF is kind of neat because over here it takes a second for it to load because it's initializing the modem hardware, and it being Z80, it's rather slow. So here you can put in a number to dial and boop, it'll dial it. It doesn't really support, putting in a telephone number. It just does one DTMF at a time. And you can also put the modem online or offline, do a DTMF string test, or just the number 9, which I just did. And confusingly enough, these functions here don't correspond to the function keys up here. They correspond to the letters on the functions. So I'm going to hit back here to return. Back again. So those are all the features that they give you, and power off would just power it off, but it also goes back into diagnostic mode when you turn it on. But there is a secret feature where if you hit Shift F5, what's this? We're at a hex editor here. It's really a hex viewer right now. And if you hit G, you can jump to an address, let's say 278CF0. And yeah, well, there isn't that much data in the memory. It just jumped to 07FF. So, okay. There's some random stuff in the memory here, but a couple of interesting things. So, I'm just going to bring my computer into view here, and let's pull open a new desktop. Just give me a second here. New window, and Cidco. Right. So, I'm going to set this tablet up here. Perfect. Joshua Stein had documented a few features of this MailStation. He set up, I'm actually going to turn down the brightness a little bit here. There we go. Now it's actually readable. So, he set up a few things about how to get into the MailStation. And it being a Z80 machine, it has the same CPU as a ZX Spectrum. Rather cool, actually. You can do quite a bit with a Z80. But in particular, there's a few things where you can load up custom programs, and he documents that the hex editor, the hex viewer, can be turned into a hex editor with a secret command. And that secret command he has stapled to the side of his MailStation. It is G710304X. And then you hit the back button to return to the editor screen. So I'm going to do that on here. Let's get in the light. So it's G710304X. Now the X does not echo onto the screen. If you hit back now, okay, looks the same. Let's go to address 020000. Okay, here we have all zeros. Now if I hit S, well, now I have a feature where I can enter data into the editor and it'll work. It'll go right into data. If I hit S, it'll save it. If I hit back, it'll actually discard what I entered, like so. So with this, we can actually enter custom programs into the Cidco MailStation. So what I'm about to do here is, let's just put this aside for a second. Okay. Get my tablet back over here. Okay. So, he has a GitHub link somewhere here. Actually, just gonna type it. Oh, I had it open in another tablet here. I don't have a tab. Right. So, basically what you need to do to write custom programs for the MailStation is to install SDCC and clone over the repository, build a couple of tools out of it, and you can write Z80 code. And I'm not sure if there's any libraries in particular which interface with the MailStation hardware in particular, but there's also a way that you can make a USB loader with a Teensy microcontroller. And as indicated here, there's a few tools. My screen's a bit dusty. Let me clean that off real quick. Perfect. Drink. Thank you. Okay. What was that?
That was me. No, it's okay.
Okay.
Nothing terrible.
Okay. So. So there's a few programs provided which you can do a data dump over the. Someone in chat actually mentioned that they have a library set up to interface with the hardware on the MailStation, so that's cool. I could actually build it here. I'm not sure how I'm going to get the screen to share over to the computer. That's probably not going to happen. I can't screen this computer onto that
Right.
station,
The
right?
only thing I can think of is if you want me to bring up his GitHub in the browser, I can.
You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll do that and try not to make this crash.
Okay. Good luck.
It shouldn't. I've done this before.
Either way, I can't demonstrate it actually building because I would need to use my machine for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, at least we can bring up his code.
yeah.
Just need to...
So what I'm actually going to do here while SidePocket pulls up the code there is get rid of this
There we go.
and
Double check.
on here, what I'm going to do is actually enter a header for a very basic program, and that was documented on a mailing list post from years and years ago. So
And I have to turn off the Elmo to do this.
oh,
There we go.
okay, cool.
So there it is.
So yeah, that's the code, and
There's a MailStation wiki.
Mm.
Did not
oh
know
yeah,
that.
there is. I guess this was actually a rather popular platform back in the day. This is actually my first getting into it, so. Okay.
Turn the Elmo back on.
Yeah, so Leet Bunny, nice name by the way, just mentioned that it's just there for reference. I will definitely take a look at it because I do want to do some cool things with this. I'll actually be borrowing a laplink cable from NCommander, and I have a parallel port equipped computer which I can use with it.
And in fact, if we go over the code and it's neat, what I'll do is I'll fork your code over to our Git repo and I'll pin it for like at least a week or something so people
Okay.
can view it. You know?
Yeah, SidePocket likes to fork a lot of repos to our.
I like to fork over a lot of things.
Yeah. So. All right. So I'm reading here. Yeah, this is a particularly long program. So, just for a demo, this is actually assembler code from one of the Cidco programs that they would send over the email, and I'll walk through what it does here. So, at the start, you have some metadata, and let's actually see if I can zoom this in a bit better. And bring this a bit larger. Cool. So, at the beginning, you have some header information, which describes where the icon information is, caption text and stuff. The Dunno value is just 0. But this describes to the program where it's going to place the image on the screen, and the name of the program shows up as TV listing, and this is disassembled by a cool tool that they provided for the MailStation. And yeah, so right here, this is all data. You have the icon width and the icon height. Icons are 22 by 22 in this case. But the actual full screen image that shows the TV guide information is also counted as an icon, and that's icon 1. It shows up as B5
Can't wait to see
offset.
this comment.
And again, we have a instant reward up here, so if you want to check that out, go for it.
You don't have to ever highlight those after that. And
Okay.
We have a great comment.
Okay, where's the comment? Oh, nice. Yes, Delta V. We're going to be covering some rather weird, obscure, and interesting hardware, I would say. We're going to be looking into how things work with them and stuff. But anyway, getting back to this. So, Icon 0, it's just a bunch of hex data, and their tool actually gives you the bitmap of what it looks like. In this case, it's a little guy on a television with a little remote control. Cute. Okay. And then Icon 1, quote-unquote icon, is actually a very large bitmap. It's to fill the screen with, which it says up here what the resolution should be for that. So Icon 0.
If I may interject, if you
Yeah.
scroll down through the data, I'll tell you how it shows up in my brain.
Okay, in 1 second.
Yep.
Size, Icon 1. That's actually the byte size. I want the resolution size. It should show up here. Yeah. Icon width is 0140. That's hexadecimal, so 0100 is 256 plus 040 is I'm blanking out. But regardless, it's just a bit over 384 pixels, I would assume, wide, and OX 68 high, which is some number in decimal. I'm not good at math in my head, but but anyway, over here we have a very large bitmap, and it shows up as a bunch of TV listings for some programming back in 2003. I'm not going to go into what it is, but as you can see, it's just a very large bitmap, and then here's some code that initializes the frame buffer and stuff and copies the image data into the frame buffer. Now, interesting thing about the MailStation is that it has its devices as memory mapped I/O, but the Z80 only has a certain memory addressing space, so it uses banked memory and banked I/O. This is kind of special because you write a command to a certain register in memory, and it will flip the memory bank over. So you're given 4 banks, I believe, and one is static and always set to the boot program area in program memory. And the Cidco actually has a few memory chips. It has RAM, it has ROM, which is actually a flash, but they call it a program flash or ROM. A third flash, which is the user flash, which is read-writable. And I believe the 4th device is the display itself, which maps into memory as a memory addressable bitmap. So, what you do is, what this code does is it will map in the frame buffer for the display and give you a window into memory of where you can write to the screen directly, and then it just copies the frame buffer into it.
Suggestion, can you hit the orange focus button without your hands in the front of it? Way better. Go.
Okay, cool.
They can see all the details on the screen.
Yeah, I keep forgetting this thing has autofocus, but you have to, hit the button
It's
to
a
train
manual autofocus.
Yeah. So, this will copy the bitmap from quote-unquote icon 2 over into the memory mapped display. And that's all it has to do in order to get what it wants to on the screen. But then it also waits for a key input, and then I believe it does that by calling an OS function here. Waits for a key input, and then if it gets the key input, then it'll clear out the screen, clear the bitmap out of memory, and then return from program. It'll just go back into the operating system. And if it fails to do that, then I think there's some panic code here, and then it does another return. So, alright. Not too shabby. However, that's just the software bits of it. And Cidco had a rather... the documentation of the software that they had on the MailStation at the time was internal only, and Cidco didn't even really know what they were doing with it, because it seems like the firmware was just made once, and then the rest of it was hacked on top of it. So that might be owing to the fact that they got bought by Earthlink, and the company had pretty much forgotten about these things because they wanted to phase them out for newer and better technology. And as technology marches on, I'm just going to set the light a bit better here and color temperature. There we go. And yeah, because Earthlink was pretty much phasing those out in favor of actual computers and smartphones and things like that, they got forgotten about by Earthlink and Cidco. And because of that, the homebrew teams kind of picked up on them and began hacking away at them. And this isn't the only internet appliance that had this treatment done to it. There was also another thing called, it was made by a company called NetPliance. It was called an eye opener. And that was a, it booted Unix on a PC-based architecture with an embedded chipset, and I could actually go and get one if you want to keep the chat busy or whatever.
I can always go on AFK for a bit with some music. So.
I mean, I'm just going to be 2 seconds. I'm running, getting it, and coming it right back.
Sure,
so.
I can do
Okay.
spiel then.
Okay, so then I'll be back in about half a second.
Okay. So everyone in chat, hi, you're going to watch this magic iPod, and I'm going to go through the spiel. So we just want to remind you, this is our second test ever of Circuit Breakers. We are trying to make this into a permanent show, although it will appear on Wednesdays at 8 p.m., but irregularly. You'd have to pay attention to our social media and website to know when we're going to do it. And that if any of you folks like the content that you see, because Dead Serious Sirocyl is doing a fantastic job right now, you can hit that bell on YouTube and click like, share, subscribe on Twitch, D Live, or YouTube. If you do so, the notifications will pop up on the screen, and Sirocyl will cheer you on like the good old doggo boy he is.
Okay.
Yep. And
So-
if you also have any questions to Sirocyl about what he's doing, or, you know, God forbid, his personal life or something, you can always ask in chat. We love talking with chat. Otherwise, keep lurking, keep lurking.
Yeah.
Continue.
Can you put the face cam on, actually? Because I'm going to show this off
Okay.
a bit. Climb over here. Yep.
Boom face. You also have a new comment.
Ah.
I can read it
Shameless
for you
plug.
if you want.
Petitioning Earthling to open source the firmware. Ooh, that would be cool.
He has a Twitter link for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from the hardware hacking village from DEF CON. Hi. No
Awesome.
pressure.
So, let me just shove this over here. Oh, so you were the one that was showing off the cool pictures on the MailStation on the Twitter. So, this is the eye opener, and it's another one of these internet appliances. I don't have the power supply that it goes with. I think it takes like 14 volts or something. 19 volts DC. And even if I did have the power supply, I don't have anything useful to do with it because it very much requires its internet service to work. And there's ways to hack about it, and I will talk about those in the future, but this is for a future episode. Also, there's access to the RAM in the back of the computer. That's cool.
So are you accessing the rear again?
No. But this eye opener, the only thing interesting about it is I think this one might have came from a hotel or something, unless this was a default feature of these things, because it's got its own keyboard it comes with. And something interesting about the keyboard is, actually, let me just see where it is, right here. The keyboard has a pizza key right here. And
All I recommend is when we go back to the Elmo, you might want to do it on the Elmo.
yeah, no, I'll pull it up on the Elmo.
Yeah.
But it has a pizza key. I can't figure out why. Pressing it obviously will give you a nice slice of pizza, which fantastic.
You can
So-
order a pizza with your tab.
I know, right? Oops.
Tab is a drink.
Yeah. Anyway. You can switch to the Elmo again.
Just Pappy and Khmer's not streaming, so that means nothing's going to blow up yet.
Yeah. So, that's the outside of the MailStation. I will definitely be looking at the firmware more in the future. My apologies, this pizza's
No,
good.
I will do that if you. I can do that for you.
Oh,
if you
okay.
want. Yeah.
I was more talking about me trying to get this pizza down. Anyway, so let's back out of here. So I'm gonna exit the diagnostic mode here and go back. Oops. Like I said, this keyboard sucks. I hit one instead of back. Go back. Oh, actually you hit Q to quit out of here. Okay. Test over. Yay! Now it's going to scan the data, give you an option to reset the system. Now, this is how you reset it. I'm not going to reset it, though it probably did. Nope, it didn't do it by itself. Cool. So, that's the outside. Let's get a look inside the thing. So, out with the power. Pull up the batteries. Dump them out. So, and it has these cool little elevators to make sure you don't get repetitive stress injury on your hands. Now, I gotta remember where I put my tools again. I'm actually gonna go retrieve my tools,
Okay.
so I will be back in about a minute and a half.
Light.
I knocked over the boom light.
We are professionals.
Yep.
So I'm going to do the spiel and then cut to music for a little bit. Because, again, we're test running this music. So, once again, here's Side Pocket as a magic iPod. As we try to reset the nuclear reactor, you can go and if you like the stuff that you see so far, he's going to take this apart in a moment. We're going to briefly go to music. You can hit that bell on YouTube, hit like, share, and subscribe on Twitch, DLive, and YouTube. You'll see notifications, and you will on the stream. It'll be really exciting. And, of course, if you have any questions or comments, provided that they're not incredibly stupid of what's going on, please let us know. Otherwise, keep lurking and keep learning. And we're going to hit the pizza tab, and you're going to enjoy more of the chiptune music. So we'll see you in a little bit.
Okay. Sweet. Just tuck this back over here. Get some good light. It's a bit washed. Turn that down. That works. Bring this light back this way.
Yeah, the Elmo's really sensitive.
Yeah, I could tell. Okay, there. Okay. So, got my tools. iFixit Mako kit, 64-bit driver kit. Awesome thing. I love it.
Got to tag iFixit when we hit live stream, but we already tagged them beforehand.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really good group. Oh, I'm going to have you shout out something later on, but keep going. It's a right to repair thing.
Yeah. So, a few screws here. Interesting thing that you can do here. Use the lid of your iFixit kit as a tray for your screws, and because it's gridded out, you can keep all the screws in approximately the place they're supposed to go. So that's just a tip of the trade there. This goes here. And what else do we have? There's one here. And there's one here. Okay, let me just make sure this is in focus.
Question for more room for the Elmo. Do you want to put the thing sideways?
I have to have it this way just to be aware of where the screws are. Yep.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Just watch it and accidentally knock it over.
That's fine. There's a screw here, unless I already got that one. Nope, I didn't.
That's the least screwed we've been so far.
Yep. This one here. Come on, get out of there. There we go. There. And the screw here. Okay. There. And finally, this label here focus, and focus, I said. There we
You're
go.
good.
Cool. Warranty void.
Upside
if
down.
removed. But of course it is.
There you go. Oh God, you can lift the fingerprints off the image.
Yeah. If you want my serial number, there it is. Warranty void if removed. I'm just gonna peel this up carefully, because God forbid I have to return this to Cidco or Earthlink. Are they even still around?
I think Earthlink still exists in some weird zombie form. I don't know about it.
And it's gone. Pop the screw out.
The working title, actually, for one of the working titles for this was going to be based on a pun of voiding warranties. But we thought that would bring up a little bit too heat, and circuit breaker sounds like it's a household object, so.
Yeah. Okay, so with those screws out, I don't think there's anything under this label. Nope, nothing under the serial number. So, should just be able to pop this open. Get it under here. Over here. Maybe I have to do it from the top.
You keep gaining viewers on Twitch.
Did I forget a screw? Or... No, I don't think I did. Come on. Almost. You know what I think? Okay, yeah. I think I actually have to remove the parallel port. So...
Some parallel port lugs need to come out first.
Yep. I figured out that just as they were typing that. So, I had my multi-tool somewhere here. Did you happen to see it?
It was to your right.
Yeah.
I don't think it fell.
Not up here on the desk.
We get to play our favorite game at DCG 201, Find the Thing in the Apartment.
Did it land on the table over there somewhere? Like,
No, because I distinctly remember it being like right here.
Okay. Let me just check over here then.
Worst comes to worst, I'll bother G.I. Jack for his
Yeah, all I need is a pair of pliers at the moment.
Yeah, for all you folks at home, what you're seeing right now is what we like to call in the professional world an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know where anything is in
Not
Sirocyl.
in my pocket.
And
Okay.
Sirocyl is literally 8.5 feet tall.
Whatever.
Want me to bother him?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go look for it.
Found a tiny wrench.
That won't help. Tiny wrench.
Alright, I'll go bother him.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna walk away and look for it?
I'm gonna look for it. You still bother him in case I don't find it.
Okay.
Yep. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. 2 seconds.
Yeah, I don't actually see it over here, so...
Can we borrow your multi-tool?
Yeah. Okay.
She's not going to be able to find it either. It's like,
Oh, Lord.
maybe.
All
We'll return
right.
at the end of the episode. Thank you.
All right. So, this is a multi-tool provided by G.I. Jack. Thank you. That comes out, and perfect. So. Turn those. Grip that. Turn that. Now it should just screw right out. There's the first one. And that still needs to be turned. I hate his tools. His multi-tool just nearly injured my finger.
That's how you know he owns it.
Yeah. Okay.
They're also designed for his
Grip and
there's a there's a Raffi song that goes, "He's got the whole world in his hands." Those are G.I. Jack's hands.
Well, they work. And that's that out. Off it comes.
Ooh. Naked.
Yep. So let's get these battery contacts out of here if I can. There's a plug down here. I can just yoink. There we go. That's out of the way. Now, here's the naked MailStation board, at least the back of it. Nothing interesting on the back here, but let's see. There's screws here, 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 and that should be it. On the underside, I don't see anything too interesting. A few passive components, and there's the chip. So, let's see here. What's this screw? Am I in focus?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
It's going to focus only on one layer, so it's mainly focusing on the actual circuit board itself. Although you might want to do one, when you have the circuit board up, just one last focus with nothing, and you should be good.
Okay, okay. I think I lost the screw in here.
Oh, joy. That's why I put my locksmithing pad tray out if you need
It fell
more.
inside. That wouldn't have helped.
I'm just letting you know, just give you options.
Okay. Pop this one out. There. Pop this one out. There. And that one.
As soon as you get that screw, I'll focus it. Should be one last time, and we should be good.
Okay. It's a speaker here binding up. Let's undo the screw there. These screws aren't very magnetic. Corner. And one screw there for the speaker number 2. Carefully that one. Up it comes. Perfect.
That one's really magnetic.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. Now, flip this over, and that's the display ribbon. This is the MailStation PCB. Now, what I can see already right here is what appears to be a 2 flash memories here. That's probably SRAM right there. This would probably be the CPU. Likely going to be a microcontroller of some sort. It doesn't have any brand on it. It has a few markings and a yellow stripe over it. Over here is the modem half, and that includes a Connexant modem / DSP chip, what looks to be a software controlled relay, some fusing, power supply circuitry up here, tiny reset button, some inductor coils, capacitors, usual stuff you would see on a software modem. And the parallel port here seems to be wired almost directly to the CPU by following these traces here. So there's a good chance the CPU is just driving that with either register I/O or with a GPIO. So that's neat. But all in all, this looks to be down to a minimum cost, what's on here. In fact, I don't think I see a display driver chip, unless these could be it. No, because a lot of the display traces just run off into the CPU here. There's the clock crystal. Yeah, it doesn't look too complicated at all here. And then on the back, whole bunch of test points and traces and passive components and things. Yeah. So, that's been the inside of a Cidco MailStation. Keyboard and screen hardware is actually, yeah, so, oh, I see. That's the keyboard ribbon, not the screen ribbon. Yeah, so the keyboard's connected to this fixed ribbon. The display is actually connected on the bottom here. So, with that being that, these are probably display controller chips, considering that they run off to vias underneath where the display controller is. So, or where the display ribbon is, rather. So that runs off to the screen, which is underneath this plate here. It doesn't look too interesting, really.
I'm going to do one last focus, and we should be
Yep.
good. Because what I learned a while ago is that don't put your hands in the shot, because your hands are always closer than what you're trying to do. One last one. Good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Alright.
Oh yeah, you can see all the detail now.
Yeah.
Like, I can actually read the board from here, and I'm blind.
So this here seems to run off. I don't know if it's an encoder wheel or if it's just a potentiometer, but let's see what's on the other side of the board from that. Oh, there's the missing screw.
Yep, and those are the, I guess, like kind of
that's-
plasticine buffers for like
for the
speakers
speaker.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. That'll go there. So, let's flip this back.
And the other screw. You're just getting screwed right now.
Yeah, well.
We are from
So-
New Jersey.
Over here we have the get email button, the new email LED, and the power button, and that seems to correspond, yep, right to that board here. So that's what it would be for. Yep, these wires would just run off to the... I wonder if the email light has multiple colors, if it lights in green and red and things like that, but that's basically it. That's all that it has on the inside. But now, given how simple it is, people have done some rather interesting and cool things with this in the past, and like was mentioned in the chat earlier, there is a library for interfacing with the software and hardware on this. So I'm going to be trying that out, seeing if there's anything cool or new that I can do with it. One of the ideas that I actually had in mind for this hardware in particular was that it would be a dashboard of sorts for DCG201 management. Things like checking our social medias, scheduling our streams and stuff, running a calendar on it, and things like that. So I'd basically write a PIM system for doing that, as well as receiving and sending the social media information. And it would just be like a very basic dashboard for that. So if I do that, the code will be on my GitHub at github.com/SIROCYL. No promises that I'll actually get it done though, because I do have a lot of other things that I plan on doing, and that might not come up in the queue for much later.
So, want to note for everyone who's on Twitch, we have a GitHub widget. If you scroll down and click on that, you can watch Sirocyl's thing without leaving our stream.
Yep. So, now it's time to get this thing back together. And I'm just going to bring the camera up over here. Perfect. Can you put on the screen so I can see it?
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. So,
Also, peep the home plate in the background.
What's in the
Behind
background?
your head.
Oh yeah. Ta-da! That's where we live. So, this, okay. The speaker goes in there. I'm gonna need the frame that it goes on. The gasket should go on the inside, I guess, like that. Okay. speaker and the screw brace. There. I mean, I guess it's not mandatory that it's there, but it's just good to have it at least. I'll get the screw back on the screwdriver. Okay.
It's usually always way easier to tear down something. It's more difficult to build something back up.
Yep. Okay, that is in. The other screw. Did I already get that one? Okay, then it would probably be this one. There. Good. Speaker's in place. Bend this back into position. Get the screw points back on the board, and okay. Not that one. It is that one. Okay. In there. Just make sure that this other screws are lined up.
The perfect channel to read.
Cool. Oh, that is not the right screw for that one. Pull that out. I guess that's the external screw, so the internal screw would be the one below it. Yep. So, note to self, use the short screws. In that goes. Cool. So, being that I had the wrong screw in here before, I think I have the wrong driver. Pop that out. And use this one instead. Yep, I had the right driver.
So while you're putting this together,
Yeah.
do you maybe want to explain to the audience of like how you actually managed to obtain this thing?
Oh, yeah, I'll talk about it for a little while. Basically, this showed up on a auction site called shopgoodwill.com. They generally have a bunch of random stuff, but sometimes weird vintage computer stuff or like weird hardware like this. You know, old people things that they throw out in Goodwill bins that Goodwill thinks is a bit too valuable to actually put in their shops. They will send it off to an auction office where it will be put on shopgoodwill.com. At least I think that's how it works. I'm no expert in how Goodwill functions, but whatever. I think that screw's actually from the back cover, so I'm going to put the back cover on. Let me just make sure these battery terminals are back in where they're supposed to go. Goes in there like that. I think so. It's upside down, isn't it?
This is so cool because I actually didn't know there was like a whole world just for this one product.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I'm just getting into it, and it's rather crazy that it's already set up the way it is. There, that's in the right way. Good enough. Okay. And this plug's got to go in the bottom here. Do I have it up the right way? I think so. If I don't, I'll put the batteries in backwards and it'll work the right way. Okay, cover. Okay, I oopsed one screw here. And that's the battery cover out. Right, okay, I see now. This screw comes out. It goes in. Where does it go? I'm flying blind here, so it's like...
At least you have glasses.
Well...
Oh, I just saw something cursed on a telegram. Learning Linux binary analysis.
Huh. Interesting. Analyze those binaries, you know? How's this supposed to...
Binary.
There. Okay. So... I have a feeling I'm gonna wind up with some extra screws here, but whatever. That's part of the fun.
That's how you know you've hacked the thing properly. Did you put it back together and it works and you have parts left over?
I think that actually goes in the corner up here. No, it does not. Should be a hole in the board for it. On the corner here.
Find the hole. Find the hole.
Is that it? No. Extremely skilled hardware hacker here, on a mission. Okay, look from the bottom here. I guess that must be it. No, that's actually a guidepost. That's not a screw hole. My bad.
How are you able to tell the difference?
Because it's poking up through the bottom of the board and you can feel it. So, that's not where a screw goes.
Oh, that's a shirt.
Whatever. You know what? I'll just put it together like this. It's not like that screw's gonna be like a serious ground post or something that's gonna wind up,
We say that now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is meant to connect to a telephone system.
We're gonna find out, yeah.
In case you're unaware, the telephone system is a high voltage network. It's not actually, you know, LV like running digital cameras and things, security cameras. Telephone networks are high voltage. They can go up to 110 to 120 volts for ring potential, though 90 volts is typically the standard, and it can be as low as 55. Most like digital ATAs, analog telephone adapters, put out 55 or so volts, just because they're cheap. It's a lot harder to get an actual 90 volt AC signal onto a line from something you know, have a processor in and have to control through a GPIO. But that's the magic of the telephone network. It has to be high voltage the way it is because that's how it actually gets the signal across in the old POTS analog days. Because you would have to put out enough voltage that it would be carried over the line from your telephone all the way across to a telephone, which could be up to... Now, I'm not counting long distance, because long distance does repeat your signal over with its own voltage through a trunk line. But, as far as local telephones go, it could be up to 3 to 5, even 10 to 20 miles to the same exchange with the same voltage. So, you have to make sure that there's enough potential on the line. Also, another thing worthy of note is that lines on telephone poles just pick up voltage. They can pick up potential from RF, from solar activity. I'm actually going to move the camera down here and point it up at me. Okay. It's going to be a weird look there, but I guess it works.
Someone out there must like that.
But, yeah, no, the telephone network had to have a high voltage on it, which is why a lot of these telephone modem appliances and telephone modems and computers have to be UL listed. They have to, have all these FCC, like Part 68. It's not Part 15 because that's a separate compliance requirement for not screwing over the phone system. So, with all that said, there's quite a bit that goes into making something connect to the telephone network. And the fact that Cidco was able to do it at such a low price, I think these sold for $149 in 2000, 2001, which made them incredibly cheap compared to an actual full-size, PC computer. And it also made them attractive to some hackers who just wanted a device that had a keyboard and a screen that they could write programs and stuff on. Mm-hmm. So that's the MailStation in a nutshell. There's a bit of fuzz here. There we go. I'll be covering this a bit more later, probably not on an episode of Circuit Breakers because we do have more content to go through. But as far as getting programs on here, I'll be taking a look at it in the future. I might make a few posts on Twitter about it and stuff, just personally, not really as a DC201 kind of thing, but I'll definitely have DC201 retweet them if they pop up.
And while I don't expect it to be there, remember our online live stream meeting is this Friday at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Same things, Twitch D Live, YouTube, all that good stuff, so you'll see us in about 2 days.
Yep. So everywhere you can see me right now, you can see our meeting in just a couple of days. So. Damn, I was thirsty. So, now, what I'm probably going to be covering in a future episode of Circuit Breakers, do I actually have it out here? Let me just look around real quick. There's a few things, and these are two of them. This is a Chromebook. It is a very basic Acer Chromebook, but the interesting thing about Chromebooks is that they have open source firmware. They run Core Boot out of the box, and I'll be looking into what it takes to A, unlock the device, B, get Core Boot building for this hardware, see if it hopefully doesn't require me to clone the entire Chrome repo over, because that's 100 and something gigabytes. And C, I'll be hacking around in the Core Boot and checking out what you can do with it from the firmware stage. And then, on top of that, another future episode also looks at a different kind of open firmware on the OLPC X01. This is a computer that was designed for educational use in third world, impoverished kind of countries and things, and it was sold as a rather neat, kind of like buy one and you would give one to someone in need in Africa or South America who the OLPC Foundation had partnered with. Laptop.org, they called themselves. But the X01 is a... Let me see if I can get this camera pointed better. There we go.
Wish Neo was on Cincinnati. And thank you, Leap Bunny, for following us on Twitch.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, X01 was a cool thing. I'll be looking into what it takes to hack around its firmware and why Richard Stallman was upset about these in particular. Because there was rumors going around that OLPC and Microsoft were partnering to get Windows running on these. And while there is some truth to those rumors, there's no way you're running Windows on this. Absolutely not.
You're going to see why.
And you're going to see why. I guess I could humor us with a boot screen from this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll turn it on.
Let me know when you want to end this, and I'll do the wind down.
Yep.
I love how it sounds like some like indie band guitar session.
Yeah, I think Brian Eno actually did the sound for that, or someone popular. I don't remember. It was someone contributed the sound for it, who was a very popular, famous band member of some sort. I don't remember exactly. I would have to look that up, but you'll hear about that later. So that's those two things, and of course the eye opener I'll be taking a look at. So yeah, all in all, we got some rather interesting hardware to be breaking the circuits of here on Circuit Breakers. So I won't be the only one also, by the way, hosting Circuit Breakers. We will have a variety of different people come on and show off cool things, do soldering projects and random things. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking us out.
Stay tuned if you're on Twitch. We're going to raid a really cool channel that I literally just found right now. It kind of relates to what we've been doing.
The time now is 9:20 EST. This is DCG 201 signing off.
Remember, meeting 7 p.m. this
Yes.
Friday.
And hack the planet.
Yep. Wave goodbye.